All right. I am here. Hello, it's Brian. Happy Friday. And yeah, it's been a long week. A lot has happened in real life and at work. So, hope you've had a good week. And yeah, I'm I'm interested in hearing how your week went. Please let me know in chat if you're how your week went, what you accomplished, any wins. Did anybody have any wins? Anybody have something good go for them? A new promotion or new job? Hopefully you found a. Hopefully you're. Hopefully if you're looking for work, you've found it, or you're actively searching, and don't give up because the job is out there for you. I've actually started seeing a lot more jobs coming up for certain skill sets in the past couple days. So um, hopefully, if you're looking for a job, that drought will end very soon. So um, yeah, we have an interview this weekend with Tanya Yanka. So um, probably need to follow up with her and make sure that everything's all copacetic. Uh, Mr. Betcher and Miss Berlin are expected to attend, so it'll be a full house on Sunday evening, 6:30 p.m. If you're interested in joining us to listen to that. Probably have a few clips or a few highlights that we'll be able to kick out there for folks to watch as a little teaser episodes before we get the full episode up. And yeah, we'll definitely have that out for audio podcasts as well. I am After our stream on Tuesday, I was reading an article on CSO Online, which I'm really, I don't want to say the quality of CSO Online has gone down, but the way the article was written was kind of interesting, and I was trying to kind of uh, reconcile that. So let me doink. Here we go. So CSO Online is, I was reading this, it's about Change Healthcare, ransomware attack. Change Healthcare, if you're unaware, had a major breach. And they're an offshoot, or I think Optum Health kind of spun them off into their own company. But they're a healthcare technology company, and they do all kinds of stuff. They've got a platform, and they've got these different things that they do and different services, but they got breached fairly heavily in the past few months. I won't go to that site, but so yeah, paralyzes finances. No, that's not it. Okay, and that was even worse. It's a freaking paywall, but um, yeah. So they son of a bitch, fucking paywalls, man. Fuck you, Fortune. So yeah, I think we talked about this on Tuesday, and I think that's where after I was reading this, I saw the CSO Online thing. United Health Group, of course, Change Healthcare is their subsidiary. They paid the ransomware attackers $22 million to get their information back. That didn't stop the data from being leaked. The leak occurred. The bad guys have the data still. They just gave United Healthcare and Change Healthcare the ability to view their documents. What they're doing to make sure that they don't end up being ransomware again by the same people, we'll see what happens. But I was reading the CSO Online bit, and the author, whose name is John Layden, had mentioned, and actually the title here is a little, there, John Layden. It says authentication failure blamed for Change Healthcare ransomware attack. And this dated April 23, 2024. And it's not behind a paywall, so maybe that's an indicator of the quality of the article or something. The first line in the article reads, absence of adequate remote access authentication has emerged as the probable cause of the infamous Change Healthcare ransomware attack. And my Problem with it is he makes it sound like because they didn't have two-factor auth, they got breached. I don't know. Maybe I can explain this. For me, it's like the way the article was written makes it sound like they were breached directly because they didn't have MFA. You don't have to have MFA to be breached. You don't have to have MFA to have security. There's other things that Change Healthcare could have done to reduce the risk of a breach or an authentication attack or anything like that. MFA is not the only requirement from a security point of view to secure your data. It's just one of the things that you can do to reduce your risk. There were other things that could have been done, but treating MFA as the only countermeasure, the only security measure, see right here, it says, according to somebody named Azim Alim, MD for the UK and EMA, Signia, yeah, highly likely the absence of MFA allowed attackers to circumvent the security measures of the United Health Group's healthcare unit. It may have helped blunt the attack, but we do know that people can easily get around MFA, especially if you're using an MFA that can be problematic. You have fatigue where, you know, you've got a system that's constantly sending you 6-digit pins and somebody's like, is this you? Is this you? Is this you? You're going to say no for about the third or fourth one. But, you know, if you do it enough times, people are going to click that yes button because they're going to assume, you know, oh, yeah, it's my work machine constantly trying to access VPN issues. There are other things they could have done. And I don't have any inside baseball on this, but there are other security controls that could be implemented outside of VPN or MFA that could have blunted the attack. I can almost guarantee that. 20-something years of IT and information security, not having MFA was not the only thing that they could have done to, you know, stop the breach. There are, you know, other controls that could be put in place other than MFA that could have blunted or reduced the chance of the attack occurring. It feels disingenuous to suggest that MFA was the only thing that they could have done that would, you know, if they'd just had MFA, they wouldn't have been breached. That's not necessarily the case. Unless this person has some inside baseball on exactly what happened there. You know, even this Azim Alim, which interesting name, you know, yeah, I'm sorry, it's a bit ranty, but there's more than one security control that could be put in place that could reduce the risk there. You know, I actually found it interesting. Somebody on Twitter, I think is our friend Dr. Crispin, had mentioned, somebody had said, hey, you know, what's a DMZ? Asked that question, a bit of a setup here. And, you know, Dr. Crispy was saying, hey, you know, it's a like no man's land where you're, you know, what would it have protected you against something if it was in the DMZ? And they're like, oh yeah, you know, you've got these controls in place to, you know, segment your network. So the DMZ is kind of a bubble out here outside of your normal internal network where you can put things like web servers or, you know, additional application servers, or maybe you put an extranet there where your customers or your business partners can access certain things through another VPN connection. And what got me when I was thinking about that is, if there's, say, Avanti was one of the major issues. Who are you interviewing, or are you interviewing someone new? Also, hey Beta Wolf. So the interview is not right now. Sorry if I did not, if that didn't come across very well. Upcoming interview is going to be Tanya Yanka. I think we talked about that on Tuesday, but oh God, I can't type for shit. Tanya Yanka. So we have her coming on, Tanya. She works for SimGrep, but she hacks Purple. And so she'll be on Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. VOD will be available on YouTube, and I'll post it up on LinkedIn and what have you. Talking about, we'll talk about anything she wants to talk about. Security champions, our recent discussion with Josh Grossman about, gaps between developers and security, and those kinds of things. But so my thought was about network topology. So the idea is you've got your DMZ, you've got your external firewall, which is going to be banged on a lot. Hey, don't try to run. Welcome. Thank you for joining. And then you've got your other firewall. You got your DMZ in the middle here, where all your extranet stuff goes. How many times? So, like, if you have an Ivanti firewall here that's being banged on the outside, and you've got a DMZ, and then you have another firewall. How often are those different? How often, if you're a Cisco shop, for instance, how often is your network segmentation all Cisco? Because I was thinking about this, and it's like, if you have if there's a CVSS 10, hey, not bad. Don't try to run. Glad you could make it. Doing okay, doing well. Thank you. Oh my God, did somebody rate us? Holy crap, I've got 23 viewers. That doesn't happen. Welcome to all of the viewers. Did I do something wrong? I don't know what I did wrong. Oh my God. So welcome to everybody who's here. I was just talking about some network topology, but so let's say, it's a Friday, right? So I'm half expecting there to be some kind of CVSS 10 O-Day, pre-auth RCE for F5 or, Cisco or something that comes through. How often are your firewalls different? Or how often are your segmentations like, hey, we're using Cisco here and we have F5 here or something like that? Moreover, how often is this firewall and this firewall like patched exactly to the same level? To the point where really, Beta Wolf, I didn't. That's interesting. So, I've only worked at places where we were a Cisco shop. It wasn't like we were a Cisco and an F5 shop. Because ideally, you would think one of the security by obscurity things, which people are like, oh, don't use that. But it's like, we've talked about this at length before. It's like, obscurity shouldn't be your only security control. But if you have a external Cisco firewall, maybe you shouldn't have, something internally that's also Cisco. Maybe it's an F5, so that if you do have that CVSS level 10 pre-auth RCE that hits your Cisco box here, they can't use the same attack on your internal Cisco firewall and then gain access internally. Whatever hits your Cisco box may get stopped by your F5 box, or might get stopped by your Ivanti box, or vice versa, where your F5 box is completely owned up left, right, and center, but they can't get inside because your Cisco box is good. Not all teams use the same thing. See, I'm assuming that your infrastructure team is not going to want to mix and match. You're eating your M&Ms. You don't want to have Skittles here, that kind of thing. So you're going to have M&Ms all the way through. But that's interesting, Beta Wolf. Prithee, do tell. Is it out of necessity? Is it legitimately like that, where people are like, hey, I don't want to, we need to have that differences, or is it like this is some kind of legacy junk that we can't get rid of because it's running the entire internal network? And, we're just going to put, yet another firewall on the outside. Every place I've ever worked where I was doing IT stuff, we're Cisco shop. So we have a Cisco box here, we have a Cisco box here, and we have other little Cisco switches and routers and things. And it was like, it didn't click to me at the time because I was, a little junior IT person, but it was like, we just need one good vulnerability, and it's like you're trotting right through the entire network segment all the way inside. So some of it's money. Some teams don't want to dip out on the internal cloud firewall or WAF to use something better. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, wow, okay. Yeah, I just, I was just, some of the things I think when I'm out walking around was, the we can't blame them not having MFA for the reason that they were breached, because it's a best practice, right? It's something, it's a nice to have, right? Right now, MFA may be a best practice, but it's not something mandated by everybody yet. Um, and I didn't like the article the way it was written, because it makes it sound like, well, if they'd had MFA, they would have solved all their problems. You can have MFA and be poorly configured and get completely owned. It could have been anything. It could have been, hey, a third party with compromised credentials. Not everybody can have MFA if they're third party or something like that. Well, see, Beta Wolf, then you're completely insulated from any kind of data breach that might occur. Because you have MFA, you're safe. Good job. Don't take that literally, folks. Just completely tongue in cheek. Yeah, it sucks that people have an idea that I have MFA, I'm completely safe, and this is unfortunately what this CSO Online article feels like. It's like, yeah, he does make a mention that it is far from bulletproof because it can be bypassed. Oh no, the person he interviewed actually said it can be bypassed in man-in-the-middle attacks, but he starts by saying, that absence of MFA is what left the remote access exposed. So he starts by saying, hey, because they didn't have MFA, they were blocked, owned. But the person he interviews says, oh no, it's not bulletproof. You can be blocked. So I'm like, you're giving me mixed signals, bruh. So yeah, it's just, hey, Fix It, what's up? By the way, shout out to Fix It. Shit. I caught Fix It's stream online today. The last one I think that was online, and good stuff. If you have a chance to go check out Fix It, I want to make sure that that's the right stream. Nope, that's the wrong one. Yeah, there you go. I actually just click on the link here. So yeah, go check this out. Nice clips, posting up some videos and things. Yeah, there was a stream yesterday. Oh, Fix It's going to be streaming on Sunday as well. So go check out Fix It if you have a chance. And yeah, good stuff. But yeah, so United Health's gonna, make changes. Their stock's gonna be okay. Should be, doing all the necessary things to be safe. I did see it seems like MITRE's in the same boat. They got owned up left, right, and center. Some of their development network got owned. Extremely off topic. Well, that goes without saying there, Beta Wolf. Yeah, extremely. Wondering if you get an iPad or a Samsung Galaxy tablet to be my PDF reader for games. If I went with the iPad, I'd probably also get Affinity Publisher too. I used to have a tablet. Oh no. Oh no. Did you? Man, that sucks. Well, guess if I'm gonna have to where's my Lady P at? Okay, so well, that would explain why yeah. So I had to ban Berman's app camo or whatever. That would explain why I've got a bunch of new viewers. So apologies if you're nothing but a bunch of bots. Yeah. So Beta Wolf, to your point, I had tablets for a long time. and like tablets, and I found that they were pretty much hamstrung. I wasn't a fan of Android tablets, so by the time I had a lot of lost productivity, I just ended up going and buying a Surface. A used Surface was pretty badass. So yeah, Beta Wolf. I have a feeling the viewers that I have that didn't come in because of a raid are bots. So that's kind of sucky. And that person is going to get reported and banned soon, baninated from the Twitch. So yeah, I know I've got you and Fix It here, so that's at least 2 people. I don't know about the other 23 that showed up, but yeah. I mean, the person in the person who loves having people watch me. I appreciate that. Fix It. I know you, and I know Beta Wolf, and unfortunately, Berman Caps Camo or Perman Apps Camo has been banned. So, novel attacks on cybersecurity. I haven't had a chance to check the news today, so I don't know what this novel attack is. Hey, look at that, right down the street from me. UC San Diego, nice. 2 researchers have found 2 novel types of attacks that target conditional branch. Oh, I'm sleepy. Oh, looks like it's new methods by which like the processors taken or not taken values for like prefetch, those kinds of things. Condition, yeah. Number is 4 now. Okay. 2 more than I thought. Okay. I still see 25 viewers, so I don't know if they're all lurking or if there's actually some legit folks. So it's okay. Branching occurs as programs navigate different paths based on varying data values. The direction of these branches, whether taken or not taken, provides crucial insights into executed program data. Right, and I think we saw that with some of the Intel execution branching stuff, where it was like you can take the road not traveled. Yeah, I really should turn off the Twitch stats because I have a little box up telling me like how many clips, how many views, how many followers. I really should turn that off because it's like a vanity thing for me. But yeah, I shouldn't care how many people are watching me, right? Right. So, but yeah, so interesting white paper. I think we're going to see a lot of. It's getting to be Usenix time, so you're going to see a lot of people who are trying to publish their papers after being accepted or not accepted at things like Usenix or what's the other one? There's like IETF conferences that are happening as well that people are getting stuff for. So you're going to start seeing some of those. So. You're too kind, Fix It. I don't know if people actually do watch later on. Oh, here it is. This is what I was looking at. One of the things I did see today was SICE is working on a pilot program to notify people about ransomware issues. So they said SICE has completed almost 1,800 notifications to critical infrastructure organizations through their ransomware vulnerability warning pilot, which I think is great. I think it's hard enough to try to coordinate communications with people and groups and companies. I like the ISAC model, but we've only interviewed people who are a part of the ISAC. So of course they want to tout it as being a way of doing information sharing and exchange. I don't know what you get out of it though, that you don't get by having a Feedly and following, threat intelligence feeds or, people on Twitter or Mastodon or, social media that post up things. Hey, here's my blog post, or hey, here's a write up from Unit 42 or from, Cumbersome Security or whatever. Of the 1,700 notifications, CISA found out that 852 of those 1,700, so roughly half, resulted in patching of vulnerable devices, implementation of a compensated control, and actions to take those devices offline after receiving notifications. I will say that nothing like getting a KEV notification from CISA on a Friday afternoon to get your IR team and everybody all spun up on some things. some teams only care about when they end up on the KEV list. So CISA KEV list. You can sign up for these KEVs, known exploited vulnerabilities catalog. Herber said, no. Apparently, Beta Wolf, your translator's broken or something, whatever. Oh, there it goes. Your translator's broken somehow, and that you're having you must have assumed that I was going to be giving that as a giveaway or something, but no, not the case. So yeah, I mean, if you're having a bad day, you can come in here and go, oh look, we have Cisco ASA and FTD, and here's a denial of service if you're using Firepower Threat Defense. Here's something that launched on the 24th that is being actively attacked. So yeah, here's an 8.6 if you have a Cisco VPN server or ASA. And you can have an unauthenticated remote attacker cause the device to reload, resulting in a denial of service attack, which is uber great. Yeah, it's like, Now, the problem with the CISA KEV stuff and these due dates that you have in here is that government agencies have to respond to CISA about whether or not they fix these things. And this was what, 2 days ago, so it came out on a Wednesday. Can't see shit. There it is. Yeah, it came out on a Wednesday. They don't know which ransomware campaigns it's being used in, but it's definitely being used, right? Whatever that means. So, yeah. Oh, and then Crush FTP. I think they said this one was actually being used in attacks. I just saw that one today as well. They said Crush. Where did I see that? It did say that Crush FTP was being used in in active attacks. Let's see, Crush FTP. Actively, yeah. According to CISA, they are being actively exploited. If you're using them, make sure you're addressing that accordingly. Sorry if it's a Friday afternoon and you're just finding out about Crush or the Cisco vulnerabilities. My apologies. I'm not trying to shit on your weekend. I'm hoping you've got a Feedly or you're following along with this, and if you've got some ASA stuff, then you've already started patching those things. Yeah, Storm 1849, UAT 4356, Arcane Door. Oh, that's a nice name. I wonder who gave them Arcane Door. But oh, good, sophisticated attack. Yeah. Okay. Cross that one off your list on your bingo card if you fix it. It's 1 a.m. Saturday. Goodness, I can't. No, you shouldn't be watching me at 1 a.m. on a Saturday. There is a plethora of better things to watch on a Saturday morning at 1 a.m., including the inside of your eyelids as you lay in bed and fall asleep. This would be the best when you're, except, for the drool, I tend to drool a little bit. But yeah. Just before I got on here, my new manager, I'm still good. Okay. Good, very good. My new manager hit me up, had a meeting with me. We had a Friday thing pop up, and wants me to run it. So I'm going to be doing another cross-team collaboration thing. It's my superpower at work, is to be able to just throw shit to the wind and say, I'm going to bust down me some silos, and then I get people involved in the same kind of shit in meetings, and I get the communication ball rolling. It's okay. Given my work and where I work, it can sometimes get a little political because I try to solve things at the lowest level possible. I don't like to escalate necessarily until I have exhausted all of my That's true. I like to not. I don't like this kind of communication, and for that is, I tell my boss tells the people I want to's boss, and then that guy comes down here and talks to this person. It's not a good way of doing business. I've never been a fan of it. It happens a lot where I work. Yeah, I would much rather reach out on Slack and go, hey, we need to talk about this, back and forth here. Let's bring in a couple more people, get a discussion starting, and then, I can let my boss know what's going on, and, please let your boss know, please update these tickets in, whatever it is system that we use. I don't like going to, up above my level where it's like, now we have to escalate. Now, VPs are getting involved or something like that. It's like, I'd like to be able to solve it down here before it gets really complicated up here. And then we have, political pissing matches and all that. It works sometimes, but you really have to bulk, you have to kind of override culture, because there are people that it's just like, I don't want to have to talk with this person. I want them to just do what they're told, and I'm going to go talk to my boss. My boss is going to talk to their boss, and I never like that. Yeah, because like you, to your point, Fix It. It is, you're getting somebody's toes stepped on. They're going to come to you in a, I'm being forced to do this, instead of you going to them directly and going, look, this is why you should care. And not because if you don't care, I'm going to tell my boss, and your boss is going to get an ugly cram or whatever. It's, you kind of need to fix it of your own volition. You have to be the one who wants to care enough, and if you can't fix it, then you should be able to help facilitate the fixing getting done. And I like to deal that way. It's probably not the fastest way, and sometimes it starts to bog down a little bit. That's the thing that I have to remind myself and get cognizant of, is like, we can't let it bog down. At some point, I do have to escalate, but it has to be because we've exhausted all of our. Yeah, it does. And some people, it's like, look, I've got 15 other things I got to do today. I need this person just to, understand why there's a buffer overflow or whatever. And it's like, look, fix it. And okay, well, we'll just let my boss handle it, or, we'll just throw it off. But, yeah, I tend to like to bounce across silos. So, I'll go and talk to somebody over here and say, oh yeah, I've worked with them before, it's fine like that. Yeah, it's a systemic thing, Beta Wolf, and it people ultimately, I think, want to do the right thing, but I don't want to say they need the proper motivation. It's time, resources, priorities. Your priority is not their priority, and vice versa. Now with SOC 2 going on, we're finally and hopefully getting the push we need to get security stuff done. Beta Wolf, I had an interesting thought about that the other day. Security, how do I want to say this? Security doesn't move the needle towards being secure or more secure. Compliance does. And I know that that's not a popular thought. We want to say we want to go beyond compliance. The problem is, when we talk about security, we don't use everything we talk about is best practice. We talk about NIST 800-53. We talk about ISO standards. We talk about other typical best practices, OWASP top 10, that kind of stuff. None of those things are required. None of those things are required. Your SOC 2, when you said, hey, now with SOC 2 going on, we're going to be able to get security stuff done. SOC 2 is a compliance requirement, not a security requirement. And that's moving the needle for you, because compliance moves the needle. Security does not move the needle. That's going to be my clip today. I'm going to add this little bit here. In some cases, there needs to be a push, and the compliance thing is the push, right? And yeah, to your point, fix it. They need the right information or explanations to make the right choices. Sometimes it's, hey, we got to get the SOC done. If we don't do that, so what? Well, we can't store certain types of data, or we're going to be audited or we're going to be audited more heavily than if we had gone and done these things. But nobody ever goes, I have never seen people be secure for security's sake. It's, we've been breached. There's a compliance requirement or a reporting requirement now, or as a result of a lawsuit or something like that. Like Twitter. It is easier to motivate that way. Sometimes we only have so many hours in the day, and sometimes I hate using compliance as a sledgehammer, but it is the only thing that is guaranteed to move the needle, whether we like it or not. PCI, for instance, SOC. You've got, other reporting requirements in the UK, GDPR, that kind of stuff. There are certain things that, and I think that's it's unfortunate that, compliance does more to move the needle towards security than security does itself. And that's a shame. So fix it. You love use some code. The backup plan, do the actual explanation first. Oh, that is true. Yeah, I think it's how you want to deliver, but I think the other reason that security maybe doesn't move the needle at your workplaces, and I can't speak for every workplace, but a lot of times it's like we had something today where it was like somebody said, hey, yeah, we don't want to escalate to our VPs or whatever. And we're like, we've tried to explain it to you. And I don't know if that's because we failed at explaining it to you, but it's, are we doing a good job? Is security doing a good job of explaining it in terms that maybe we just don't know what their goals are? If they're feature driven, then we need to figure out how we can explain that in such a way. I'm just thinking educating the decision makers for next time. Yeah, that and yeah, I mean there's some of that too. It's like, if you're having to explain to the VPs, or if you're having to explain to your development managers, why we need to be secure, why does your code have a ton of memory issues in it? Is it a code quality issue? Are you doing code scanning? Are you even, do you have the right flags set up in your stuff? Issue, as we've explained over and over again in so many ways, this is our third attempt at a SOC 2. Wow. That's unfortunate. So Beta Wolf, you're is your SOC 2, like, I want to say it's crazy important because you wouldn't be trying for a third time if it wasn't necessary. I'm imagining that it's the auditors coming in saying, hey, you're not doing enough. And so the other question I'd like to ask you, Beta Wolf, is you're going to attempt the third time after it's failed 2 times. What have you done differently this time to ensure that you're not going to be trying for a 4th time or a 5th time? Oh, you weren't around for 1 or 2. Okay. Do you have a good relationship with the folks that you're going to have to work with? Have you identified all of your stakeholders? Do you have a list of things that are deficient that you're going to have to go through and look at to, have you built champions? Have you built detractors? Have you identified your resistance? I think that's the important thing too. My wife would be the first to tell you have to identify your pockets of resistance. When I did my ADCAR stuff, they were like, okay, you have to figure out who's going to be the most resistant. Who's going to be your champions. And it's not, your L10s are not going to be your champions. They have to be your champions. We thought we did, and then we got dumped a much smaller list, which is great. Oh, that's cool. Have you prioritized that work at all? I'm putting my TPM hat on now. It's like, have you prioritized which work is going to take the most time, the level of effort? I'm just finding your process is interesting. Yep, rather heavily. Okay. Okay. Um, yeah, because at this point you're going to be either doing t-shirt sizing, story points, that kind of thing for figuring out, level of effort, who's going to be doing these things, identifying these things. Are you going to be are you the PM for the thing beta, or is it somebody else? I'm just mildly interested in the thought processes that are going to happen there. But yeah, my thing starting Monday, which is ironic because Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, which I will not be streaming next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So if I do stream, it'll be probably next Friday only. Or if I decide I want to do something like super late on, yeah, if I stream, it'll be late on Tuesday or Wednesday. So you're just a grunt? No, 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 Beta Wolf. You have a superpower. And I I think you should try and see what, relationships you have with other parts of your organization that are you can use, right? Your friend network. Um, I'm finding that I'm going to be leveraging that quite a bit at my own workplace in the next few weeks. Ooh, sorry, I haven't checked my email in about 30 minutes. Let me go look. You're making me want to put PM jobs back on the search list. Fix it. I tell you, I don't know where my next job is going to be. If I want to believe it's going to be in my current place, but it is kind of hard to be a PM for me. Without my kryptonite in, sometimes I forget to do these things like identify the stakeholders, figure out who our resistance is going to be, because there's a lot going on, right? Yeah, I can't do so. Somebody's like, oh yeah, you just somebody said today, I was like, oh yeah, I need to be able to do X, and they're like, oh yeah, it's probably going to be like 10 lines of Python code, 5 of which is going to be matplotlib, and I was like, great. Do you have those 10 lines of code, 5 of which are matplotlib or whatever it is? I was like, because I do not. Sorry, I'm checking this. It's actually cromulent to what I'm working on at work. Okay. Okay. Oh, it's Friday and people are not going home, so that's fun. Yeah, I would. Oh, man, I'd love to talk to Beta Wolf about that, but I don't want him to get in trouble at work. But yeah, I mean, if you're going for your third time, there's somebody causing the resistance that caused it to fail the last time. Identifying who those people are or that person is and which group, you need to figure out who caused you to fail the last time. Oh, okay, good. And you need it's almost like you need to run an IR on them. You need to secure, contain, isolate, or something like that, where it's like, okay, you need to figure out how to, I don't want to say wall that cancer off or whatever, but if that person is in a position to deep six you this time, yes, exactly. So you've identified the problem or the people, the person or the group problem. Um, Let me see. It's a SOC 2. They're causing you to fail the audit. It's mostly data driven, or where you're storing the data and how you're storing that data. Is it database people? The database people data? Or whoever is maintaining that data doesn't want to make those changes because it would impact. Okay, yeah. I mean, it's either the people who are storing the data, the people who want to retrieve that data and use that data in such a way that it's running afoul of your SOC. Like the way you're doing business is not jiving with how the SOC is managing. Um, yeah. God, I want to ask you a lot of questions, but anyway. but yeah, so identifying, isolating, containing those the pockets of resistance, or figuring out what's motivating them to get where you need to be. Sometimes, and you may end up running into, look, we can't do business without the SOC 2. So, we're going to need to capitulate, or we're going to need to figure out uh, some kind of, negotiation, or, some kind of come to Jesus where it's like, look, if um, yeah, there's some team dynamics there that I think a lot of us don't understand when we're making the bread, or making the sausage, that if you're not working towards the goal that everybody needs, which is the SOC 2, whether security is needing these things done, which needs these 4 teams to be able to get to that goal, but they have other things that they're doing that's priority, like features or something like that. SOC 2 is not a feature for them. SOC 2 is a back end thing. If you're dealing with sprint planning, it's I think they call it guild work. So you've got feature work, security work. We have it broken out by features, security, and guild work. And I think the guild work is mostly like infrastructure kind of stuff. So they've only got a certain amount of story points, or a certain amount of bandwidth every sprint, or every month, or however it is, their unit of time, that they can support your SOC 2. And if they already have stuff in the can, it might be because heavily siloed, with the one group of people with the most power and able to do their own jobs, allowing everyone to run rampant. Yeah, I mean, it's complicated, and it maybe you need a longer lead time, right? I don't know how often you have to get your SOC 2s redone. I thought it was like a 2 or 3 year cycle, but this is going to be good, especially if y'all can land it this time to fix your issues. And who knows? Once you've gotten it, then next year your lessons learned, and you definitely should have lessons learned for if you make it or don't, even to go, hey, what does this look like? How are y'all operating right now, Beta? If you don't have a SOC 2. This could dramatically fix so many issues, also bring in a little cash for us. See, you should definitely, excuse me, you should definitely figure out how to, maybe I shouldn't be asking that question in a public forum, Beta Wolf. How are you all operating without a, oops, my bad. Yeah, it's complicated. That's one of the things that I keep reminding myself that I need to do, but yeah, I'll forget that stuff sometimes. It's like, okay, who's the pocket of resistance? Who's and these things come up in, like, your MBRs, your monthly business reports, where you're going to leadership and you have to put out this topic, and you're like, SOC 2 certification, and it's like, oh yeah, it's going great. Here's the leadership ask, and it's like, oh, do we, is it your red, amber, green kind of stuff? Is it like, is it green? And if you put something other than green, it's going to get tension, and it's like, or you get that trending green or whatever. James Bond movie Golden. Beta Wolf, I understand GoldenEye probably came out before you were born. For those of you who don't know, it was one of the first Pierce Brosnan Bond movies. And a pretty damn good video game. So, yeah, see, and he needs a bigger gun. Maybe they need to warp that picture to make his gun look a little bigger or something. Did not come out after you were born. You're like 2022 or something. This came out in 95. You're not even you're. Yeah, I'm just kidding. I know it's the original PPK. I believe it was also the last Bond to have an Aston Martin for his car, because they moved him over to a Mercedes when what's his face took over. But yeah, Sean Bean, yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah, it's You're turning 30? Man. Yeah, they brought it back, Daniel Craig. Yeah. Um, 30. Man, you're old. I'm 45. So. You young pups and your, you know, oh man. I was 30 years old living in Austin and had a 5-year old. So, yeah, she's now 18. So, um, oh, board games, TTP, RPGs, tabletop board games, gunplay. Got 3 years on you, but still young. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I don't feel old. Just got a little gray right here. So yeah, got a little highlight here. You know, got that little if you're under 80, you're young. Oh, that's kind of you to say, Beta Wolf. You're not 80 yet. But is what it is. um, oh, for those of you who like RPGs and stuff, I will see. I posted up episode 10 of. I know you can't see the screen yet. So my other project, this one, I just posted up episode 10 today. Trying to do something a little different with video editing. I do a little light editing on the stream videos. Those are very much heavily edited, including subtitles and things when I'm using DaVinci Resolve. But it's a fun little thing I'm trying to do on the side. I'm not trying to be Critical Role or high rollers or whatever, but it's a fun little system to play with, and I like doing it on the side and all that. All that's just me doing my little thing, trying to be a little different. So if you're interested, no pressure, but it's not anything affiliated with BreakSec. It is under my 403 Concepts company as an organization. I remember thinking the kids in 4th grade being so very old when I was in 2nd grade. Yeah. I had the same problem when I couldn't imagine being in high school when I was in kindergarten, and the high schoolers would come over and do things, like read to us or whatever we were in camp. It's like, man, that person's old. And then it's like, I'm 45 now. It's like, God, dog, man, just sucks. But yeah, it's rough. It's rough. Yes, they were ancient. Exactly. Yeah, I can't imagine being out of high school. What is it like to graduate from college or whatever. So, yeah. Huh. MITRE keeps coming out with these frameworks. When we're 80, we'll still feel the same about, yeah. It's like, I can't imagine being 100, and then it's like you're 80, and it's like, oh, great, Yeah. I am, the days go by fast. It's like it's Friday already, and then next week is going to go by super fast because I've got to go up for an on-site to LA, and we're doing something for dinner every night. So I'll be there Tuesday night and Wednesday night, and then I come back Thursday, and it's just going to be Friday again before I know it. And yeah, do you hire people? By the way, yes, we hire. Beta Wolf, are you talking about Beta Wolf or myself, or a bit of both? Because I believe we are hiring. I just don't know if it's in our department. Only Martians, though. Looking for tips. Start applying soon. Okay. Yeah. You know what? Let me. What are you looking for? Well, see, the problem is it's a lot of there's a process. Fix it to hire on. I can definitely put you in as, so we have different things at my workplace. We have what's called a, like, you know that person directly and have worked with them, or they're a networking lead. So if I and Beta Wolf had worked together at one point, I could vouch for them in a more deeper manner than just, hey, I know this person. I've met Beta Wolf in Meat Space, uh, but I can't say that he's a good worker. I'm sure he is. I'm sure he is, but I have not had direct experience with him in that regard. So the way they have us do it at work is where it's a networking lead, and so we are hiring. I believe we're always hiring. I do believe we're hiring for a number of different things. Let me go see what we got going on here. The problem is, oh, I got to be on the VPN for that. The problem is you may not be working with me. It's a big organization, it's a big company, and you might be working under different management and leadership. My hang up is, and we actually just had a recruiting drive meeting with our recruiters, and they said, yeah, we're always hiring, here's the jobs, if you got somebody you can suggest, reach out. And I'm like, man, you recruiters are ew. And it's like, what if this department is hiring, but I don't think they're a good department? And then of course there's silence on the call, because I'm it's like, well, what do you do if you know they're hiring but that team sucks? And it was just like that. It was like, got a little uncomfortable. I said, as an example, it's not like that those people were awful, but it's like, would I recommend somebody to a job that I know is, my experience with that team has not been positive? And it's like, no, I can't do that to my friends, that kind of thing. And I don't think the recruiters cared about that. I think they were just trying to fill those quotas, which just doesn't make me feel good. So we'll see. I mean, fix it. If you are interested, we can definitely talk online, or offline, not on here directly. But if you're looking for a position, I'm almost certain that we are definitely hiring, and we can definitely talk. I'm more than willing to pull back that curtain. I don't advertise who I work for, but if you are looking, then I can definitely do what I can. I have offered other people similar things, and then found out, well, they already tried to apply at my company within 6 months, and they were rejected. And it's like, I can't do anything for you. You're already in the system. So, but cool. All right. Any wins this week? Any wins this week? Oh, that's fine. Okay, well that's cool. Yeah, I do know that we have offices all over the world, and I do know that our company is doing its utmost to get people to go into those offices for certain amounts of time. I am a virtual employee finally, so I don't necessarily have to go into an office, but yeah. So yeah, it's just weird, the person dynamic, and that's something I haven't learned how to completely solve yet. And I'll forget it sometimes. It's almost like, I forget that I'm a PM, and I'll be talking to these people, and I'll be like completely checked out, because it's like, you're not listening to me, and of course I'm checked out and I'm not listening to them. So I have to remind myself that if I want them to care, I have to care myself. And there are days when I'm just not motivated to do shit, which is probably mutual. I have to remember that. So, I got hired on my current job during the pandemic, so 2021, and we were under the impression that, oh yeah, you won't have to go into the office if you don't want to. And of course, a lot of companies reversed that when they realized, oh shit, we're sitting on several $100 million worth of property that is sitting in unused, basically sucking power and HVAC and not being used for anything. And oh yeah, we're paying rent on that. And so it's like, hey, maybe it started out like, hey, it'd be nice if maybe you went into the office once in a while. And then just before I went to left Seattle to come down here, it was, yeah, you need to go into the office. And I was like, oh, okay. Now, because of my job and the people I work with are in the EU and Canada and not in my, in the Seattle office that I was in or in the San Diego office I was in, it made sense for me to be a virtual employee. So I don't hate going into the office. It's just a different mindset, right? Well, they go into an office, but they have an office that's close to them and they have other people on their team. So they will go into the office, but we're actually doing a lot of on-sites as well. So I should have gone to London back in April, but at the time it was not a good time for my team. My team members were not going to be at that on-site. In July, I go to Dublin, and we're going to be hanging out with one another on site. I'm actually going to meet some of them next week in LA. So I'm doing a lot of travel, ironically enough. So, I don't mind going to the office, but when I go into the office here, into the San Diego office, I don't know anybody there. Nobody from my team is there. So it's like, doesn't make a lot of sense for me to go into the office to just then turn around and get on a Zoom call with them. It is kind of sad, but that's why when we decided to do our offsite, actually I do have some people that I know who are up in our LA offices, and we've got a lot of more people coming into the LA office. So I was like, I invited myself to the LA meeting, and they're like, oh yeah, definitely come up. I was like, yeah, it gets kind of lonely down here in San Diego, all this nice weather and shit, and then I have to do my thing. So yeah, that's why I'll be going up there. We'll be, hanging out, having meetings, doing Top Golf, and hanging out at Aleworks, which is one of the places in LA. So yeah, it's, we do pretty good. So I actually don't mind the work from home, to be honest. If I was in Seattle and had to go and commute to work, I definitely wouldn't be streaming as much as I do, because it was a 45-minute commute to downtown Seattle, and then it was like you had to turn around and drive home the same amount or more depending on the amount of traffic there was. So I would be burning roughly 6 to 7 hours a week in traffic, and that's on a good day. So yeah, I love San Diego. If you ever get a chance to come out to San Diego, not doing the Hollywood thing, but we should definitely get coffee or have lunch or something. So right now in San Diego, my office is like 10 minutes away, which I wouldn't mind going to the office if there were people who were in the office, but it just is what it is. Plus, we're fairly bit more flexible in our work hours and work time than anything else. I mean, if I come in at 7, I can, leave at 1 or something like that. If I just need to go out and do something, it's, super easy to do so. Yes, I know you're in Sweden. Sweden's a lovely country, and I wouldn't mind going back and doing that. I actually suggested, I think Germany was another one we mentioned, but I was like, hey, we should do Sweden. We should do Amsterdam or something like that. But yeah, so there's still an opportunity to go and hang out in Sweden and go do that. So, hold on. What? Did you kill it? You killed it? Good job. Good job. The killer downstairs has killed the poof ball and has decided to loudly proclaim her awesomeness. What? Come upstairs. I'm streaming. People want to see you. You're the worst co-star ever. There you are. Get up here. I saw that. You killed it real good. Yeah, why don't you get up here? Come on. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Good job. Meow. Yeah, good job. I sometimes think you're more popular than me. Where are you going? Meow. You're more popular than me. That's for damn sure, I tell you. People come from all over the corners of the globe just to see you. Yeah, exactly. Yes, they do. All right. You stick around? Don't go too far. So yeah, looking forward to this weekend. It's going to be somewhat nice. I have to pack and get ready to go up to LA on Tuesday. It's like a 2.5 hour drive, but I'm staying overnight, so we got hotels and everything like that. So, yeah, I yeah, it's okay. I'm going through the same thing, and Beta Wolf knows this, but I'm going through the same thing I had when I was dealing with like a regular meetup that I would do, CSEC East up in Seattle. It was I don't really want to go, or I can't wait to get back home after being there, and it's like, yeah, it's really weird this whole thought process for me, but it's like I don't want to go, but I know I have to go because I've already signed up to go. But yeah, when I'm there, I love doing it, right? And it's exactly the thing. It's like when we go on vacation, it's like I really wish the vacation was over so I could be back home where I'm at, but I really want to go on vacation. It, that's that's my mind. That's my brain. Because I miss my mom and kitty when I'm on vacation. I'll miss my mom and kitty when I'm in LA, right? You'll miss me, right? Yes, she's gonna definitely miss me. You're gonna miss me, right? You're gonna miss the ear scritches at least. I think people will just, will get thousands of views if you just stick around for more often, okay? Because you're a force of nature. You are. But yeah, I love going. The last time I had an on site, I was like, I don't know what to expect and whatever. We went, we had a great time, we learned a lot. I think the new thing is just I'm under new management and new leadership, so being aware of that is just something new. So anyway, do you want to do something? What do you want to do? You just want to get Lovenses. That's all you want. So fix it. What's prompting you to look for a new job or wanting to prompt you for new? Is it you need a new challenge? Because I can understand that. And just we've talked a lot about, and with our last couple interviews about hiring process. I don't know how the hiring process is in Sweden, but there's I honestly don't know how people find jobs these days. And with Stuart, from Hampton North, and that it's like I couldn't imagine not having a job right now and trying to understand how to make heads or tails of that. And I don't know if it's just we don't know how to, we being the collective we, don't know how to write our resumes to be useful anymore, or if there's companies over reliance on AI is causing the problem. But it's not as straightforward as it used to be anymore. And I I also know I'm 45 years old, and I don't want to say there's a set against people of a certain age, but um, they some companies want people who will work 85 hours a week, and it's you gonna go? Okay. And I understand the meaning of work-life balance, which some of my coworkers, um, they actually like chatting at work on their Slack during the weekends, and I'm like, yeah, it's just not going to happen. I have a work life balance, meaning I work when I work and I don't when I don't, and um, yeah, it's just one of those things that they'll learn eventually. They'll learn eventually. They just they haven't gotten to that point yet, and yeah, I was that way at one time. I've been needed a lot by my kids, and I still need to be home a lot. I've been offered IT jobs, but 100% on site. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So now I do consulting a bit less than half the time and run home to feed the kids. So yeah, no, I can understand that, and I appreciate you, putting your priorities first, which is your kids. I appreciate you doing that. Uh, it's and there's like I said before when we first started, there's a job out there for you. It's just we got to find the right time and find the right position and what it is you want to do. If it's more PM related or if it's tech or what have you. 100% remote with marketing for a bit. Interesting. Okay. Mm-mm-mm. I don't know. I haven't looked at LinkedIn for a couple days. Let me go see what we got. There's so many companies out there. The hybrid is the new on-site, right? When they say hybrid, they really mean on-site, even though it may only be a couple days or whatever. Um, there we go. Let's see. That's not how you spell that. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Uh, e- I've tried the easy apply on LinkedIn, and I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it. I need to update mine too. I am I could be better. I've left the alphabet soup of certifications on the back end here. Um, I don't advertise who I work for, obviously. Some of you have probably watched me enough to get a good idea of who it might be, but I don't I haven't updated any of this stuff since before everything was AI enabled here, so got to update my certs for the ones I don't have anymore. Yeah, I need to either find out if my company is cool with me taking another SANS course, because you take one SANS course, you get enough credits to update your GWAP and your GCIH. So I figure if I take the GCIH one again without taking the test, because you don't have to take the test, then that will re-up both my GCIH and my GWAP for another time, and then I can double dip or triple dip for my CISSP as well. So not that I need any credits for my CISSP. I'm going to be gooning for DEF CON this year. I went to B-side Seattle, B-side San Diego. So there's at least 20 credits there that I've already done. But yeah, it's yeah, I need to update this. I haven't updated it in a while, and things obviously have changed to the point where I need to, be better about what my about is or whatever. Hey, Digital Warhead, what's up? B-side Seattle's tomorrow. Oh my goodness. Oh wow, it's been a year already, huh? Yeah, look at that. Very cool. Besides Nashville, I think is this weekend too. They were talking about some Building 92. Yeah, that's a Microsoft campus. Excellent parking. One of the best places I've ever found for parking is beside Seattle. Um, the yeah, off the 520 there. Um, yeah, they're in the Commons, which is this big oval area here is the soccer pitch for Microsoft's campus, and this is the Commons area here, and then Building 92 is back behind that. It is a nice building. It's a great venue. It's nice that Microsoft can make that happen for them. So yeah, see, scroll down here, see the soccer pitch and what have you. Uh, Bike trails, plenty of parking though. It's like 3 floors of parking, and it's on a weekend, so nobody's there. So, are they sold out? Are they sold out? Oh no, you can still get tickets for B-side Seattle. There you go. Josh Michaels, good person. Um, wanted to do one of the workshops. They were super long. One was 8 hours. Oh my goodness. Workshops for B-Sides San Diego, I think the longest one was like 3 hours. And that was, I want to say Taggart's, MT Taggart's Rust class, which I don't know if he's still doing that. He did tell me, I'm not name dropping, but I saw MT Taggart at B-Sides. He said he was going to be doing his courses online again once everything is back up and running. He has a Taggart Institute on YouTube as well if you wanted to go check that out. Oh, Tiberius is online. Okay, good for him. But yeah, so several people have asked for his Rust class, offensive Rust, I think it was, but they're using Rust to interact with Windows. So there's definitely more work to be able to do. And he wants to recreate it here with a longer 3 hours. He was like, yeah, I think he was like, I don't want to say racing through it, but he was definitely, having to, maybe overlook some things or, not touch on things as much as he wanted to. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. Looks like he's got Tibbs is on with VS Code doing some coding right now. I am hungry. My belly is rumbling, and we're going to be on Sunday night. So just so everybody knows, we will be on Sunday night. Tanya Yanka will be here. I'm going to wrap this up now. So she will be here. We'll be talking about this is Tanya. She Hacks Purple, AppSec blog. She has a newsletter you can sign up for that will send you things. It's not too traffic heavy, so if you're interested in some AppSec related items, she also is an advisor for NordVPN and lives up in Victoria, British Columbia. Amazing place. If you ever get a chance to go to Victoria, they do B-Sides up there too. I think B-Sides Victoria. But yeah, you can go and get her book, which we'll mention that. I'll probably have a QR code on the overlay on Sunday night, so that way she can get some love for her book. You can go check out her site as well. We've had her on multiple times, but she's an excellent interview. She's good. She'll be at B-Side Seattle tomorrow. She was there last year as well. I think she was keynoting. She keynoted. But she does an amazing job. And, she's going to be B-Side Seattle. Yeah, I think she's going to be done. Yeah, she's going to come down on the ferry and stuff. So, yeah, we'll make sure that she gets that. But, yeah, go check that out. And, yeah, we'll be on for our normal 1 to 2 hours on Sunday night. And really looking forward to that. So. Tried to connect on LinkedIn, but it wants your email. I'll send a message on Discord. Yes, please fix it. I have blocked that only because as a minor internet celebrity, I don't like to, share out things. I'm just kidding. I'm not a minor internet celebrity. But yeah, get with me on Discord and I'll get you my email and we'll make a connection. So, or send me your link on LinkedIn and I'll just connect to you that way too. Either way, that's all good. So anyway, I'm going to go get some din and oh God, not even Snoqualmie. Oh yeah. I say that to my wife and then my wife and daughter, they laugh. And because, I'll be signing something at the restaurant and it's like, $60 or something for lunch. And I'll be like, okay, I have to wait for change because my autographs are like $120. So I have to wait for them to come back with change for my autograph. My agent won't allow me to, sign things without being paid. So we're just going to take it in even trade. My 120 minus the 60 for the lunch is, $60 or whatever, but it's funny. It's only funny to me, but yeah. So Miss Berlin, Mr. Betcher, myself, and Tanya will be on Sunday night and looking forward to that. And, no unauthorized signatures. My agent doesn't allow me to do that. It sucks. Or, if you ever see the name, Rooster, then that's me too. You're getting a great deal at the restaurant. Exactly. Having my internet celebrity in there, having lunch at the local, Rio Bravito or whatever. So I'm going to go. Y'all have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your week, the rest of your weekend. Come back Sunday night, and we will hang out with Tanya and Mr. Betcher and Miss Berlin, and we'll have a good old time. So I will hook up with Tibbs here. Let's hook up with Tiberius, who is currently he's doing some web app stuff. So let's knock that out. Doink. And yeah, hope y'all have a good day. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, take care now. Bye bye then.